Hey peeps, DJMK here. Welcome to another episode of Cinderella Phenomenon Evermore. And today we're going through another episode of Fritz's route. Fritz will end with a Z. I can't help making that mistake. But anyway, in the last episode, well, turns out we may have actually been through a few chapters, but it felt like one chapter. But anyway, we have started with the dagger training for Lucette. So, the big questions. What more self-defense will she learn? And, curiously, will we see Sir Alcaster? I highly doubt it, but let's find out if we do. And of course, I am joined by my friend Tobias Atantalis, as per usual.
Hello.
And this episode is a very, very special one because today, my best friend of almost 10 years is traveling abroad. So, this is just a very special episode for me and hopefully for her as well. Because, I mean, as you all know, I love love stories. I've read shoujo manga since I was 5, maybe 6. A long time. Basically a lifetime. Let's go with that. But yeah, little did I know I was going to be a supporting character in one of these stories in real life. And I am happy to say this is one of those stories that is coming true. So, dedicate this episode to you. You know who you are. I hope you have a safe flight. And I am wishing you the happiest of happily ever afters. I mean, and I'm just so glad that I could be a part of it too, because I mean, it's just really exciting to see everything from like the blossoming stage to now, really the maturing stage. So I'm excited to see where it goes next, and I mean, I'm not ending the episode, don't worry. May your heart be your guiding key. But of course, I know it always is. So, I am wishing you all the best and a safe flight. And make sure you text by the time you land. But give us some reassurance too. So, yeah. Now, back to the fictional love story, which we already know has a happily ever after. We're just finding out what happens after the happily ever after. So, let's go ahead and proceed on that, shall we?
Oh, we shall.
And I wonder what awkward dialogue we'll go through next. Because we've gone through a lot of interesting conversations here. So, I think this is the opening of the current chapter, right?
I think so. I don't think we got into the next chapter.
Yes, yeah, because we were in the apartment before. That's right. Oh, actually, it's more like a manor, but it feels like an apartment. Yep, it's on you now.
And that is all I have to report on the incident, Your Majesty.
Fritz bows to my father before joining the knights gathered at the edge of the room. Jurian stands with them, watching everything with a stony expression.
Lady Jurian, is Lord Fitzgerald's testimony satisfactory?
Yes, Your Majesty.
Oh,
delayed on your side?
And your opinion? And your opinion, Lucette?
I agree with Jurian, Your Majesty. This morning, my father ordered Fritz and the knights that were with me during the kidnapping to provide testimony as to what happened. The kidnappers have been waiting their sentence in jail for the past few weeks. Today is the day they received their punishment. So, for those who missed a few episodes ago, there was a moment where Lucette was accosted by former witches. So, as a result of that, Fritz and a few knights that were in his command basically managed to intercept. And that's where all the self-defense talk came in, if you need some context. So, quite a lot happened. Anyway, back to our main plot here. I heard from Jurian that the trial has already been suspended multiple times on account of heated discussions between the king and the counselors. The case is of special interest to them because the criminals were witches. This technicality, along with the king's own busy schedule, has forced us to postpone the trial. Father motions to the guards for the front doors. It is a silent command to bring the criminals inside. The kidnappers are silent as they enter the room and kneel in front of the throne.
You know the reason you have been brought here. You have been charged with the crime of kidnapping the crown princess. To this crime, you have both pleaded guilty.
I mean, what else is there to plead? I mean, there's a lot of evidence. You have witnesses. I glanced between the man and the woman. The defiance I saw on their faces that day they stole me away is gone, replaced with resignation. These people kidnapped and threatened me. They blamed me for the divide between the witches and humans, and for the loss of magic.
Who said?
My father was speaking to me in a low voice. I turned to him, startled. Yes, Your Majesty?
This crime was committed against you. As you are said to take my place, I would have you decide their punishment.
Oh boy! You're basically being Amneris here. Here we go. Yeah, I watch a lot of musicals and opera. I turn back to the kneeling criminals. The woman seems to clever in her shackles, and the man is looking up at me with eyes that glimmer with unshed tears. 2 years ago, Mother would have punished them with death. She would have insisted that lenience was weakness. But these people do not deserve death. As if reading my thoughts, Father continues on a different tangent.
According to the law, your kidnapping would be tried as a first-degree crime because you are unharmed. The typical punishment is 30 years prison time, though you can certainly argue for longer.
Well, I mean, that is her dad too, so of course they'll try to make it more serious. I shake my head. No, I'm unharmed. There's no need to press any further charges. Oh boy! Questions, oh my gosh. So...
I mean, I honestly don't see a lot of downside to having this sentence.
Yeah, I don't either.
They'll still be put away for like 15 years. They're not gonna cause any immediate trouble.
Right.
But I also feel like that would be a good step towards like working with the people and like trying to gain their trust.
Right, like in reconciliation. It's like it's a tightrope because like on the one hand, the 30 years is a typical sentence for a crime like this, even though she was unharmed. On the other hand, considering the motivations that led them to do it, it makes sense. It makes sense why. And considering we're not deciding between 30 years and death, that is a better question. But then it's like on the one hand, the 15 years would give the leniency that hands down Hildur would not have delivered at this point. But then on the other hand, because the leniency is toward ex-witches, could it also give a reputation that because Lucette was almost a witch herself, that it was basically giving preferential treatment to her own kind at the cost of trying to make more relationships between former witches and humans? This is a hard
Yeah, but
one.
yeah, and especially the point though they said like Hilda would have just gone, straight for whatever. I think the leniency also goes to show, yourself and other people that you are not your mother.
Right. Right.
Because there's a lot of people who kind of hold your heritage against you at this point.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, they keep forgetting that she's half human, so it's like, I'm one of you too. Did you forget that? Oh man, it's hard. I am so tempted to have it. And yet there's nothing against the 30 either. Yeah, peeps in chat, feel free to like chime in on this because I literally do not know what to do here. The first decision of the night, and it has to be like in proper royal degree. And again, that's what being a crown princess entails. Making hard decisions. Isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I am leaning towards having the sentence, because that seems to have some benefits opposed to the 30 years, which is just like straight neutral.
Yeah. I mean, it's not preferring one over the other. It's not adding more to it, but it's like, it's still a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna lean towards having the sentence too. Let's just try it out and see what happens.
Yeah.
And probably I wouldn't agree because obviously, like, yeah, that's my kid you almost kidnapped. But on the other hand, it would start towards a revolution. Who knows? Let's give it a shot. Let's have it.
You would have them serve only 15 years.
These people are still young. They may have friends and family they're supporting. Anything longer than that would only give the witches more reason to hate us. I nod as I turn back to the two ex-witches. I am being magnanimous by having your sentences, but that does not mean I'm forgiving your crime. Remember this. All crimes are judged fairly, no matter who the perpetrator is. The woman stares at me in shock. The man bows his head.
1,000 blessings on you, Your Highness.
The woman follows his example. Both are still shaken as they are taken from the room. Hopefully this will ease some of the tension in the kingdom. I glance at Father.
Well, considering your kidnappers who were just yelling at you at the time just wish blessings upon you, I think there's good things happening there.
Yeah. I mean, like, they literally could have said anything. They could have even done, like, something so far as, like, what the guy did in Waltz's ending, where it's all, like, yeah, like, hashtag not my queen, or in this case, hashtag not my crown princess, but...
I don't need your pity.
I don't need your pity! But on the other hand, it's just like, went like, dang, you actually gave us mercy? Like, it's like, wow. Yo. Changes are coming. I glance at Father, who has not said a single word since I declared my sentence. Then I look at Fritz, curious about his reaction, and am surprised when I see the fierce frown on his face. Uh-oh. Okay. Oh boy! It's gonna think I'm too lenient? Let's see. Father clears his throat.
Now, I feel as if the divide these kidnappers mentioned should be addressed.
What divide exactly? I've already given many speeches in an effort to bring the citizens of Angiel together. Now I realize that words are not enough. Action is necessary. When I suggest this to my father, he asks what I recommend. If I'm being honest, I'm not yet sure. Yet I know now that words are not enough. They will not bridge this so-called divide. I would like to gather information first, then I'll speak about what happened here today, and... I press a hand to my forehead and sigh. I will find some way to resolve this problem.
Lucette, remember that this is not your problem alone to solve.
That's right. In this case, follow Waltz's advice, even though, come to think of it, I don't even know if he's, like, talking, like, she's talking to him in that way, but... Yeah, takes time to take a break.
He's just in the streets doing puppets.
Yep, streets doing puppets and telling stories. Really fun ones, I may add. I look again at Fritz and startle when I see the frown on his face. His eyes are trained on the wall. Did he forget that there's trapdoors in here? Like secret entrances and stuff? On the other hand, why does he look so irritated? Even Jurian is staring at him with a quizzical look on her face, but Fritz does not so much as spare her a glance. He looks as if he has closed himself off from the world.
Lucette?
I turn back to my father with a half-hearted smile. Yes, I know. Thank you, Father.
Lord Fitzgerald? Yes, Your Majesty?
Fritz's expression is stony. He still refuses to meet my eyes. Oh snap! Is it because, like, yeah, because, like, Mithros cursed him, so, like, he may have thought it might have been too lenient. I don't know! I don't know what to think! He must have his reasons, but for now I will give him space.
And unfortunately, in pretty much any decision, you can't please everybody. There is going to be someone who disagrees with your decision. Yeah, and then, right, there was also his mom. I almost forgot about that. So, like, it's another, like, defense mechanism thing. At least I think that's what it is. Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
I would speak with you on one matter that I mentioned before.
What is this about?
Lord Fitzgerald and I had something we wanted to discuss in private.
Uh-oh. Secret conversation! This can't be good! I glance curiously between my father and Fritz, but neither reveals the topic of their conversation. Unless it's the conversation I'm thinking they're having? But then again, there could be so many other ones, like... Well, his dad's still alive, for one. And he's basically a wanted... Like, enemy number one at this point. Let's see. Is this something else Fritz does not want to tell me? I brush my worry away with a nod, then swiftly turn and head out the dining hall. I decided to head to town with 3 night escorts. I resolved to be productive in my time off and look for people who can help me decide what to do about the divide between witches and humans. Specifically, I looked for Waltz. Right, because he hung with Hildur. Well, albeit not completely voluntarily, but you get the gist. See parts 1 through 6, I think.
I think there were very few people who hung with Hildur voluntarily.
Yeah, come to think of it. Myth, maybe, but the rest, I don't know. Before, I would have gone to the Marchen to look for him, but now at the tavern closed, that is impossible. When Delora and Parfait passed away, there was no one left to watch over the Marchin. Waltz and the other boarders have since moved out. Waltz now lives on the outskirts of Angiel, but I'm certain that he comes to town around this time to perform. There is no doubt in my mind that Waltz will be able to tell me about this recent treatment of the witches. I've searched the whole town square for Waltz, but he is nowhere to be found. Usually he's in this area performing or playing with the children, yet there is no sign of him here today. I continued to look for Waltz over the next hour, occasionally stopping to speak with other townsfolk to ask if there had been any disturbances in the area. Most seemed confused by the question. Was what the witches were saying not true after all? I am still searching when someone calls my name, pulling me from my thoughts.
Princess Lucette.
I turn my head on my heels and see a familiar man striding toward me with a bright smile on his face. A young woman walks beside him, smiling nervously. I would never forget Chevalier and Anice's faces.
Oh, what voice did I do for him? I'm trying to remember.
the James voice, I think.
Oh, is he? He was James. That's right. Long time no see, Princess. I'm grateful that Lady Luck. Yeah, I'm grateful to Lady Luck for giving me the opportunity to see you today.
I am so looking forward to playing Chevalier's route, because he is just hilarious. He's just so funny. Anyway, Anice raises her head and smiles. It's good to see you again, Your Highness. Likewise. How is work at the clinic? 2 years ago, when the fairy tale curses were broken, Chevalier regained his memories and returned to work as a doctor. Anice, who had always been interested in learning more about medicine, decided to stay on with him as his assistant. It's been months since I've seen either of them. Chevalier glances at Anice, a mischievous smile on his face. Anice looks away, flustered. Oh, they're an item, I think!
Would you tell the princess the good news, Anice?
Anice fiddles her thumbs, her expression turning sheepish. Well, we decided to open up a pharmacy in the clinic space. A pharmacy?
Anice's specialty has always been herbs and antidotes. You decided that opening a pharmacy is the best way to showcase her talents.
Which makes total sense, because, I mean, that's basically what she was giving, like, Parfait all the time, was, like, her tinctures and stuff. So, I totally get it. Rather than just a clinic, we'll also have a pharmacy set up so the townsfolk can purchase natural remedies. It should, be less expensive than the medicine most apothecaries sell. And that was the other problem with Chevalier. He tended to underprice his services. I mean, granted, he was trying to make it more affordable for people, but it often came at his own expense. That sounds like a great idea.
Doesn't it? Anice will do just splendidly.
I'm looking forward to that glitter. We're gonna take glasses all day. I hope so. Chevalier looks at her and raises an eyebrow.
You should tell about that other thing too, Anice.
Much to my surprise, Anice flushes. It's not, really important.
Nonsense. Being in love is always important news.
I knew it. I knew it. I had a feeling that Anice and Chevalier are going to be an item.
Honestly, that's what I expected their news to be in the first place.
I know! Those who heal together stay together. I stare between the two of them as Anice hides her face in her hands. What's this about love? Oh, snap! It's somebody else! Plot twist!
Anice met a very striking young man a few weeks back. He came to my clinic to ask for my advice, you see. In the end, he spoke with Anise for hours and on end about various herbs.
Oh boy. Anise sighs as she removes her hands from her face. He happened to be the son of a visiting apothecary. He was a pleasant man.
You don't have to be shy in front of the princess, Anise. Just tell her about how much you like to smile, about how nice he was when he treated you to dinner.
Oh man, first it's Emmeline and Prince Lance and Rod and his secret admirer, now it's Anise and an apothecary's son. Chevalier? I cannot help but smile at Anise's embarrassment. Anise always did so much for others back when the Martian was open. She deserves to be spoiled as well. And I agree, Lucette, she deserves it. After all she went through between, I don't know, kicking her out as a maid of the palace, and then doing all the stuff in the Martian, and then now being being part of an apothecary / pharmacy. Yeah, she deserves some good stuff. See part 1 of Cinderella Phenomenon if you want context for that. TLDR, Anise used to be Lucette's maid before she fired her, and then chain of events led to where we are now. I am happy to say these lines. I'm happy for you, Anise. Thank you, Your Highness. I pause to consider as Anise and Chevalier once again exchange looks. She turns away with a sigh when Chevalier winks at her. I wonder if maybe Chevalier can tell me about what the witch is. Because if anybody would know, it would probably be him. Chevalier, have you seen any witches in your clinic recently? The good mood fades abruptly.
I have. Many of them show up at the door saying they've been refused treatment at our other clinics.
Violation of the Hippocratic Oath. That's it. Dishonor. Dishonor on your whole family. Write this down. Dishonor on you. Dishonor on your cow.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, like seriously, like you like that's like the very first thing about the Hippocratic Oath. You do not, like, anybody needs treatment, whether it's an enemy or an ally, you don't turn them away, you treat them. That's literally the first rule.
One who was so sickly she was on the verge of collapse told me that she had run out of some other place because she was certain they'd seen her cast a fairy tale curse before.
Ouch. There was also another witch, a man who had burns on him. He came asking for some kind of ointment. Burns? Chevalier nods.
It was a revenge crime. A man came into his potion shop and knocked everything he owned to the ground, causing an explosion.
And considering my personal experience with doing alembic mixing, I can confirm this. Random potions do not mix. But why?
According to the witch, the man said something about magic no longer having any place in Anziel.
Oof. The more Chevalier speaks about the incidents, the more my stomach churns. Many of these crimes were mentioned by the counselors, but no one mentioned specifically that they had been done against witches. I can't excuse this discrimination. And for those who are thinking 10 steps ahead, you are right. It also applies. There is no excuse. I'm sorry, Princess. Sorry? And they didn't mean to add to your stress. You don't need to apologize. I came speaking this information because I want to help. Perhaps I could discuss some sort of safety measures with Jurian? Or maybe I should address these crimes in front of all the townsfolk.
Humans are sad creatures, aren't they? They fear things they don't understand and choose to despise them rather than open their minds.
Yep. That is very real lesson, especially right now. And that's the other part that kind of confuses me. It's like, I get very much you don't understand it some ways, but what confuses me even more is why we do it to our fellow humans. Y'all know who you are.
But still.
He smiles.
I've had various volunteers come in to help me tend these witches. Just as there's cruelty in the world, there's also great goodness.
Look out for the helpers, because they are always there. Mr. Rogers, such sage wisdom.
It just so happens that violence always speaks loudest.
Hopefully not always. Then, I have no choice but to speak louder than that violence. I nod at both of them. Thank you both for your help. Of course. We're glad that we could help, Princess.
Yes, it's always a pleasure. If you ever need anything, you're more than welcome at the clinic. Rest assured, I will always make time for you.
I will try my best to visit when I can. My talk with Chevalier has answered many of my questions, and I am relieved for it. It seems I do not need to search for Waltz after all. Shortly after the two excuse themselves, I head back to the palace and the guard were formed around me. No sooner than I have returned than I am met by another familiar face. Emmeline is running toward me with a package in her hands. Her smile was exuberant. I had a feeling you'd be back soon, Lucette. Emmeline, were you waiting for me? I was. I wanted to be the one to deliver this to you. Emmeline holds the package out to me. What is this? I take the parcel from her hands and eye it curiously. You won't know until you open it. I raise my eyebrows. It must be important if she came to meet me at the palace gates. I do as Emmeline insists, and I am surprised when I behold what is inside. Oh snap, it's a mask! A mask. Emmeline claps her hand together. For the upcoming ball! Ooh, masquerade ball! I've always wanted to attend one. Have you ever been to one?
It wasn't anything fancy, but one time in my college thing, we had a kind of organized thing. I ended up having to make a mask out of duct tape because I was panicking to do things last minute. That was fun.
That is hilarious. Oh man, yeah.
Duct tape mask, and I think I also had like a blanket for a cape. All in all, it actually didn't look too bad.
Hey, that's good. Yeah, I know like in Baltimore and I think in Philly they do like a cosplay masquerade, and I've been wanting to attend because like it's a pretty elaborate one, but for obvious reasons I haven't been able to go. Well, that and also I didn't really have a dress. I didn't really have a masquerade like dress, so yeah, it always felt like those balls were kind of out of my league, but no more. As Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella has proved, sometimes you gotta stop dreaming and do it yourself. Nothing wrong with dreams, but sometimes you gotta like sit down and actually do one.
Just do it.
Just do it. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of Disney Plus today. Can you tell? Yeah, Brandy and Whitney Houston's Cinderella. Check it out. The upcoming ball was a masquerade? When did this happen? Oh yeah! Because like Ophelia was like planning this out too, and then they were like thinking about themes like do whatever you want, and then oh wait, I know where this could go wrong. Oh! I am looking forward to, and yet I'm totally nervous about the drama coming up, but let's see. Let's see where this goes. Emmeline seems to notice my confusion. Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised about this? Bark strikes again! I know it! Oh!
I mean, does him having that idea have anything to do? Like, when it flashed back to his alter ego, he was always wearing a mask, it seemed. Like, does that have...
I wonder what's gonna happen. Like, is it gonna like try to make sure, like, yeah, this ain't Varg, this is me, but it's not all bad. I've integrated my shadow self and my true self together.
What if he just dresses up as Varg?
What if he dresses up as Varg? I got so many questions.
Oh, that would place so many questions on poor Lucette.
Poor Lucette, indeed. Oh gosh. Oh yeah, I have to read this line. I forgot. Oh, it was Lord Fitzgerald's idea. He brought up to Mother a few days ago. He said the masks should make things more mysterious. I run my hands over the carefully crafted mask and shake my head in wonder. It is a delicate mask, and I cannot help but marvel at the intricacy of its design. What do you think? It's a lovely idea, isn't it? It is. Interesting. Oh, man. I wonder why Fritz wanted to alter the theme of the celebration, and why he chose masks. I wonder why! I think some sort of inside joke's about to happen, but I don't know what it is. Aha! Knew it! Anyway. Looking at the mask makes me remember the masked man from 2 years ago. The man whose cocky smile I could always read beneath his mask. Varg. Fritz. Their personalities were like night and day, and yet they're the same person. Lucette! Emmeline laughs when I startled. Rod was right. I do just need to say your name loud enough. Dang, Rod!
Huh, that worked.
Huh, I can't believe that worked. I was just appreciating the mask. Right. Did you?
Oh, she's blushing. Look.
Woo. Did you buy this for me? Emmeline shakes her head. No, it's from Lord Fitzgerald. Yeah, I mean, like, that kind of beigey gold color is really her color. Then again, she wore it a lot in like the first part of the series, whereas like the blue kind of came after the curse. So it's kind of interesting. Fritz bought this mask for me? I clear my throat and carefully set the mask back in its package. Do you know where Fritz is now, Emmeline? I can't say that I do. Sorry, Lucette. You said that you would be waiting for us in our usual place, so perhaps he's in my room? The two of us always meet there before we begin our practices. It is no worry. I will find him on my own. I took the package beneath my arm. Thank you for delivering the mask. Oh, it's no problem. I wanted to be the first to see the wonder on your face. I look at her, suddenly curious. What of your mask? Have you already purchased one? Yes, earlier today. She flushes. I found a special mask from Brigantia and purchased it on the whim. Emmeline and Lance are still a thing! Woo! Or should I say llama? Oh? Aren't Brigantian masks especially flamboyant? That does not seem your style. Unless... I raise an eyebrow. Are you trying to impress someone? Maybe I am. It just so happens that Brigantian royalty will be joining us for the celebration, since Prince Lance is attending. Her words fade as she looks at me, embarrassed. It has been less than a few months since the Brigantian nobles came to visit our palace. Claude and his brother Lance have been sent here on many occasions as emissaries to help remedy our relations with Brigantia. I noticed the way Emmeline looked at Lance even back then. I've always suspected she fancied him.
I will say, society will always try to tell you that there's something inherently embarrassing about being attracted to someone, but really that's just not the case. If you like someone, that's great.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still a factor of tact and, you know, playing things coolly so you don't go too crazy, but
yeah, and chemistry and pacing and timing and, you know, there's a lot that romance stories don't really cover. I mean, they always cover the start, but they never really cover the will they, won't they, and the in between. In fact, have you noticed a lot of romance stories tend to, like, especially when it comes to, like, long-term relationships ending and then the new one coming in, they kind of forget about, like, how that connection happened in the first place?
yeah.
I think that's why, like, the Before series with Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy is very interesting, because, like, it's one of the few that actually covers the whole spectrum. And it was, like, Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, and I forget what the third one is. I started to watch all three of them, though. It's a really interesting trilogy, though. Go check it out. What? I wish you the best of luck, Emmeline. I'm sure you will capture his heart. I grin as I pass a rosy-cheeked Emmeline. Aww. Yay! He's there! The first thing I notice upon my return is that Fritz is seated beside my window. The minute I step inside, he looks up at me. Then, just as abruptly, he turns away and stares outside, his expression conflicted. Fritz? Oh yeah! We have their sentences! What is he gonna think about that? I recalled the way he acted in the throne room earlier. It seemed almost as if he didn't want to speak with me. I received your mask. Oh shoot! Are we going to the cold shoulder now? Oh boy. Oh boy.
Two can play at that game.
Do I need to light some incense now? I don't know. If there's something amiss, please tell me. I cannot fix whatever it is unless you tell me what it is. And sometimes you gotta focus less on the fix and more about being heard. Another part of communication, peeps. Does this have something to do with the trial earlier? Suddenly, Fritz's expression is sad, melancholy. Am I thinking about his dad, maybe? Oh.
It's not that you did anything wrong, Priscilla said. Only...
He sighs as he runs a hand through his hair.
I disagreed with your ruling.
Oh. Why? Was he angered with my leniency? Yeah, this is like a debate that I was having. Like, the leniency on the one hand, it would give maybe like the witches a leg up, but on the other hand, it was changing customary law by making it 15 instead of 30. So it was a huge exception. So, like, doing an equal punishment would be one thing, because at least it would be standard. It means nobody's like special one over the other. But on the other hand, the situation was super fragile. That was a hard decision, I will say. That was a really hard one. Whew. It's as if he reads my mind. He turns to regard Lee slowly, his expression mellowing.
It's not like you could have known, and it's not as if my feelings had any bearing on the case. Only, well, what happened today reminded me so much of what happened with my mother.
Oh, I had a feeling. I'm gonna find out what happened.
Heard a lot about what happened to his mother.
Yeah, I mean, all I know is that she got killed, and it was the one day that she did not bring her dagger. So, like, what exactly happened, we don't know. I mean, I'm kind of assuming that witches were involved, but we'll see. Your mother? His mother was killed, I believe.
It's a bit of a long story, but suffice to say, when the criminal who killed her was tried, they were given a lenient verdict. A flawed one.
Oh. A flawed verdict? Fritz nods a little absently before he sighs out again.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to insist that my personal feelings should have any bearing on your decisions.
No, please, I want to understand.
And I'll make sure you do, but for now, I'm sorry.
Oh my god! Oh man! Do not change the subject! Oh my gosh! You're
I should be
dodging!
talking about the masquerade, shouldn't I?
You are dodging my brother, my compadre! Dang, Fritz, you're worse than me! Oh gosh. He eyes the mask with a smile.
So, Emmeline delivered the mask to you. What do you think?
I think it's beautiful and mysterious. Fritz laughs. The sound of it relieves my heart. Yay! Laughter!
You say it like you're not sure.
Because I am not. I've never attended a masquerade before. That's because Hilder's reign was no fun. We are having fun now. I step forward and raise my eyebrows at him. I heard from Emmeline that it is you who suggested this. May I ask why?
I'm sorry, they said. It was for an entirely selfish reason.
Whoa!
I wanted to give you a mask, and I wanted to see you wear it. I had a lot of fun designing it for you.
This could be a new occupation. Fritz, monetize your masks. There you go. That's what I was
Yeah, that was my thought when they were all like, "Oh man, this is a beautiful mask he bought me." I'm like, I bet he didn't buy it.
Yeah, that could be like his new occupation now that he's no longer a knight, by profession. So he could be like a mask crafter. I mean, that's another thing I kind of learned. I actually recently took a portfolio career seminar, and one of the things that they suggest is like maybe like monetizing a skill that you often give away for free. So that could be it. Bodyguard, mask designer, masquerade ball maestro. Fritz, you designed this mask? Oh!
I did. I wanted to do something special for you. And also...
He leans forward, eyes glinting with mischief.
Ah, the mischief again.
The mischief again!
In a masquerade, one can show off a completely different part of themselves. It's like being a masked performer in a theater show.
Fun. So we got former knight former knight/bodyguard, mask designer, and actor. What else can he do? Or more specifically, what else can't he do? Besides not being able to serve himself during a dinner. Yeah, I have not forgotten that, people. He leans back and laughs.
I thought it would be nice to be someone else for a change.
Besides Varg? Someone else?
You'll see.
He stands and crosses his arms.
Before we head out to practice, if you're up to it, I'll tell you about the incident with my mother. Perhaps talking about it will help get it off my mind.
Yay! Finally! Backstory! Okay, we'll find out what his mom was going through. Well, was going through. If you're willing to tell the story, then I am willing to listen. Whew. How about I grab a drink? Maybe some popcorn or something? Here we go. What happened?
I told you before I lost my mother when I was very young, right? I was only 3 years old.
You can remember what when you're 3, believe it or not. That means this is before I was even born. Before Mother's reign. I put a hand to the pocket where I keep Fritz's knife. His mother's knife. Before, he told me that if she had had his knife on the day she was killed, things would have been different.
Have I ever told you that my mother was a teacher, they said?
I look at him wide-eyed. No, you've not.
She was a language teacher. She was the reason I grew up learning bits of other languages. Even after she died, I read her lesson plans because I thought they would make me feel closer to her.
Aw. I cannot help but recall the word that Fritz taught me before. The one he said was from an ancient language. Adiuva. I forgot what it meant! It was taught in the first part! It'll come back to me. Did his mother teach him that word? Or did he learn it after she died?
Anyway, I digress. My mother was a language teacher who took many students, nobles, commoners, children. She would teach anyone who had the motivation. My father always told me she loved what she did.
And I love seeing passionate people do their work. Like, especially like I've seen a lot of documentaries where people were talking about like hit songs, like how they became a thing. It's so interesting.
So she was happy. We all were.
That turned south, isn't it? He leans against the wall with a sigh. Despite the sunlight blanketing the room, his air feels dreary, heavy.
Then she took on a student that would eventually kill her.
Oof. That sounds all too familiar.
My father says he was a Brigantian nobleman who wanted to learn the Cedelian language.
That was my guess, too.
Most likely, it was because he had business connections with Cedel.
I think that was the one with the coal, right? The magical coal? That lasts 4 times as long. That does not seem like such a strange request. Cedel was a neighboring kingdom, after all. It makes sense that he would have connections there.
Anyway, Mother used to visit this man every other day. He paid my mother more than necessary and was a fast-learning student. But then one day, word of a scandal began to spread around Angiel.
I hope I know it's not what I think it is. Never mind.
Word of what? Word was, the nobleman was involved in some illegal trade with Sicilian businessmen.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I thought they were going to use the visiting every other day as the scandal.
That's what I was thinking too!
My mother could confirm those suspicions. She found proof of the illegal trade deals in the nobleman's own letters.
Oh snap! Dang!
Apparently, the letters had gotten mixed into my mother's lessons plans by accident. They were written in a language that only she understood.
So probably not Sicilian then.
Oh, so he wanted to learn new languages so that he could use them as code?
I guess?
That's sneaky.
That's sus.
Gray is sus. Shortly after, my mother notified the king. The nobleman mysteriously disappeared.
Whoa. I think it probably... I'm guessing mob hit, but we'll see. Oof.
The day after, my mother was found murdered in the alley. The knife in her chest had been brought that day by a young man no one recognized. Turned out he was a hired killer.
Yep, mob hit. Call it now. Whew. I stare at Fritz in shock. You believe that nobleman sent a killer after your mother because she spread a rumor about him?
It was the truth, not a rumor. A truth that soiled his reputation.
Fritz's eyes are stormy, his mouth set in a tight line. At first I think he's glaring at me, and then I realize he's glaring through me. His anger is reserved for a memory.
The killer was brought to the palace to be tried. He confessed that he was only a hired hand, but nothing came of questioning him about his employer.
That's the one thing I don't like about investigations like these. They always forget to go more in depth, like get to the source. They just focus on sentencing somebody. Fritz sighs.
The hired killer never had any physical contact with the nobleman who hired him.
Yeah, that's the other thing. This is why these hits are so suspicious. Because oftentimes they don't want to get their hands dirty, so they never get in touch with the person who actually is sending the hit.
My father suggested torture as a means of getting information out of the murderer, but the king refused.
And it has been proven that torture was an ineffective means of interrogation anyway.
The killer was sentenced to lifetime in prison, but the nobleman who paid him was never found, and so was never tried in court.
Oh no.
Though my father tried to link the nobleman to the murder, King Jarno argued that there was no conclusive evidence that he had hired the killer.
Man! And this all happened before Hilder's reign, too, so it's like... Wait... What if Alcaster kind of made an unholy alliance with Hilder and Myth to kind of make him take over the kingdom as vengeance for his wife's killer never being found, and maybe possibly using magic as a way to track down the person who sent the hit, so that we can get his vengeance? But if that were the case, weren't there better ways of doing it? But that would explain a lot of what he did. It doesn't make it right, but it makes sense.
Yeah, but from what they're saying, I would have to agree, they don't actually know that, this man was the one who hired him. I don't know of anyone else who would, have motive for killing his mother, but it is possible that there is someone else out there.
I mean, considering the chain of events and the things that kind of went down and the knowledge that she knew, the probability is pretty high. It's really high. I'm watching way too many crime shows. But again, I also used to be in mock trial, so there's that. And Ace Attorney. I used to play Ace Attorney a lot. Well, walkthroughs at least, not the game itself. But I love it.
It was all circumstantial evidence.
Yep, circumstantial evidence is not gonna get you far. My father must have investigated further. There was no way he would have let such a crime go unpunished.
Yes, the investigation was extended, but nothing conclusive was found.
Darn it, a gold case.
Though my father tried to keep the investigation running, the king eventually disbanded the effort, claiming that they were only hitting dead ends.
Could the thing that he was talking about possibly be relevant to his mother's case and they might reopen it?
Possibly.
That's the only reason why I think Lucette might have been left out of the conversation. Besides several other things, but that's one of them, is my guess. The look on Fritz's face is so mournful that I cannot help reaching for his hand. All I want is to anchor him in the present, to get him away from his memories. I squeeze his hand and Fritz turns to me with a grimace.
After that, nothing happened for a while. I was too young to understand where my mother had gone.
Oh!
My father became distant. I distinctly remember him disappearing for long stretches of time.
Why am I thinking of Taken all of a sudden? Like those lines? Like, I have a very particular set of skills.
He was gone longer than he had ever been before, and I almost always had someone else in the manor with me.
His expression flatlines.
And one day, he came home covered in blood, and he told me that justice had been served.
Oh shoot, he actually did it?! Oh!
Oh! I'm starting to see now, though, why his dad might have gone a little crazy.
And why he is, like, scared to become like him, especially in the latter half of his career. Like, what is it about the parents in this game in turn, like, at least, like, for him, his dad, and for Lucette, his mom, sorry, her mom, what is it going south in the latter half of their careers? This is so weird. He killed the nobleman?
I didn't realize it until much later, but yes. He made him confess, then he killed the nobleman himself.
Oh shoot! Oh shoot! Like, how did he still have a position in the Order of Caldera after that? Like, if it were any other thing, he would have been, like, dropped right away. That is so weird. What?
Has Fritz told the king about this, though?
I don't know! Like, I mean... I don't know! Like, this is also where, like, mob rule versus legal stuff, that's where it gets really weird.
Yeah, I'm like, if he confessed, you should have just brought him back in chains to hold court.
Yeah.
But he was crazed, you know, with grief and anger, so...
Yeah! Whoa. I did not expect it to go this direction! And again, there's a lot of things in this plot that I did not expect to go this direction. Goodness!
That just means it's a good story, frankly.
Oh my gosh. Oh man.
My father punished the nobleman where the law had not, yet.
Fritz shakes his head.
I've never felt closure.
Of course you wouldn't with something like that. Dang.
My father hated that the king was so lax about the investigation. He believed that the nobleman was pardoned on account of his status.
Lackadaisical is a weird word.
From then on, my father held a grudge against the king.
That explains a lot more about why he was, like, siding with Hilda a lot more. Because, like, as I mentioned earlier, her tendency to punish people was death. So, it satisfied kind of a weird quota of justice, because Hilda was brave enough to carry it out. Versus the king kind of went a little more... I mean, like, on the one hand, yeah, like, preferential treatment of nobles is a thing. And yeah, on the other hand, considering the judgment that happened earlier, I don't know. I mean, I don't know Gennaro's policies and stuff. Like, he went through some weird stuff himself.
Yeah, and in this particular case, it wasn't even that he was held in court and they went easy on him. It's that they couldn't find him.
They literally couldn't find anything. They covered the tracks way too well.
After my mother died, he became stricter, tougher. He began to doubt everyone and everything, and he just dealt out justice with an iron fist.
And that would explain him and Hilda.
He didn't hate the king then. He still thought that he was noble. He still believed in the honor of the knights.
And now I want a prequel even more. Like, I want a prequel covering Alcaster, Parfait, Delora, and Gennaro, maybe Hilda. Like, those 5 people, I don't care if it's not a romance game, I want a prequel with these characters. I'm so curious from their lenses what they went through.
He didn't become truly incorrigible until after the war, when Hilda was locked in the Tenebrarum. Before that, he was jaded but kind. After Hilda, though, after he saw what ruling with an iron fist could do to keep people in line...
But it's really easy to put 2 and 2 together. Went Machiavellian here. Whew. Fear can be a powerful motivator, but it's also easy to run out of a gas tank after fear as well. I've seen it happen before. I think we all have seen it, really. Fritz crosses his arms and groans.
Back then, I always wanted to believe in the goodness of people. But now, I understand where my father was coming from. The strong walk all over the weak.
Oof. His shoulders sag.
That's what I realized when my father used me 2 years ago.
And to clarify, it's about Varg. His gaze settles on me again, quiet and forlorn.
I believe in fair trials. I believe that people deserve retribution for the crimes they commit. This crime was not murder, but... You were stolen, Lisette. They had a knife to your throat.
Not gonna lie, I kind of forgot that for a brief second. I didn't think about that. I thought more of the longer-term consequences.
Sometimes I think about what I would be if I lost you, Lisette. I wonder if I would come to hate the world just like my father did.
Oof. He goes silent as he slumps in his chair. Perhaps the reason Fritz was so impacted by the trial is because he believed I should have been harder on someone who could have taken my life.
Well, there you have it. The story of my father's death. I'm too young to remember it myself, but I put the pieces together over the years.
I mean, dang! I mean, you lose your mom at a very young age, and then, like, over the years, you had to figure it out. And then, like, Elder comes along and then makes things even worse. It's like, wow. Like, Fritz went through a roller coaster. And then on top of that, a fairy tale curse where literally your identity, like your identity is not solid. Like, that's gonna mess up anybody. Like, wow. Like, I was even impressed that he's still trying after all of that. Like, that's impressive. Whew.
That he still has as much sanity as he does.
Let alone, like, all the thoughts that he has about, like, protecting Lucette, and I mean, even with all that knowledge, even with all those doubts, he still tries to see the good in people. Even if he can't necessarily, like, see it in himself, and all the things that he's experienced over time. It's amazing. It's really amazing. Whew. He looks at me expectantly.
What do you think?
Do I have to make a decision again? Because I'm not prepared. Ah! Oh gosh. Please do not make this another decision. I am not another decision tree, because I am not prepared. Please, visual novel gods, do not give me another decision right now. This is too emotional. But I think we all know. We all know. What do I think?
About the verdict. Would you have done anything differently from the king?
I wouldn't know! I wasn't born then! Oh, shit!
Would you have let the nobleman go so easily? Would you have shown the same lenience?
Oh, oh my god, why? Oh my god!
They make you make a decision, and then later they're all like, but are you sure?
Ah, god! What? Game Y. Game Y. Oh god. They made this game was the game's equivalent of a trolley problem. Because, like, on the one hand, he confessed, but on the other hand, if it was through torture, the nobleman could have easily said that just to, like, relieve his suffering more quickly. Because there's that, and then there's the lack of like definitive evidence against him. But then there's also the well, I can't really say rumor mill because it actually was the truth that, like, he was smuggling, but like, it's hard to put two and two together in terms of, like, nobleman equals mother's death. Ah, this is hard. This is really hard.
Yeah, but again, it comes back to the thing where they're not exactly hand in hand. One is about being lenient, and I feel like in his mom's case, they really tried, like, everything they could think of, but it just was getting nowhere.
It was getting nowhere. Like, either they just covered their tracks super duper well, or there probably was evidence, but they just couldn't find it. And they had to put the resources towards other cases that were more definitive.
It comes to a point, it's like, we have other things to worry about also,
This is hard. This is really hard. Dang, I didn't know this. Like, I didn't expect this to be like a moral. Oh. The drama is real. Oh my gosh. This is hard. I mean, I think I probably would, because, like, I think in this case, I think Lucetta's dad was in the right here. because you can't accuse somebody who had, like, when you have, like, no solid evidence. I mean, I know it's also manufactured evidence, but, like, how often is that a thing? It's more often mishandled evidence that you have to keep a lookout for. I think they're leaning towards yes, even though I feel terrible about it. I mean, I don't think it's like the court of public opinion, but it's like...
Yeah, I'm like, I'm always, you know, leaning toward being lenient, but that's kind of just me as a person.
Yeah, like, even the benefit of the doubt, right?
I am a bad judge in an official capacity, because I'm always looking for, like, the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be nice to people, so...
Yeah, like, I see good I'm like General Leia here. It's like, I see good in you. I still see, like, even with all the things that you probably have messed up or have all these dark sides, it's like, I still see potential. I still see the good in you. I still have hope. I'll bring you home.
And besides just the sentence itself, whether they deserve 15 or 30 years, it goes even further with that, because we are trying to knit these relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like in this case, you know, being a little more lax towards these people, even if they maybe didn't deserve it, goes towards the greater goal of, like, bringing the kingdom together.
Yeah.
So.
And plus, I mean, if somebody happens to do it again, that's where you go, like, yeah, like, we need to, like, watch out. But, like, giving him giving another chance.
Politics is all sorts of confusing.
Yeah. I think it's also like the Wonder Woman argument, if you've seen the live action film. Deserve versus believe. Very much a crisis of faith here. Let's give yes a shot, since we seem to both be leaning towards that, and see what happens.
But here's the big question. If someone else does something similar, are you lenient again?
Yeah. I think it's because, like, the result... I think it's because the result is different. That's where it gets a little complicated. Because, like, in this case, Lucette survived it, whereas his mom didn't. Let's see. I can tell by the way his expression falls that my answer takes him by surprise. As much as I want to say no, I also know there is a reason the court has specific procedures for doing things. I think the same logic applies to other criminals too. Even if we have suspicions, we cannot act on things that have not been proven. Well, there's the importance of innocent until proven guilty, and then there's, like, the letter versus the spirit of the law. It's very much that.
Mm-hmm.
We can only judge what we see and what we witness, not what we assume. That's a key thing right there. Alcaster ought to have brought the nobleman's confession to court and meted out justice that way, no matter the feelings he had for the king. Yeah, that was the thing. He should have just brought it front and center, instead of, like, just. I mean, I know you have a lot of, like, superhero films that we often, like, see people take it upon themselves, but on the other hand, it's. Now I'm thinking of Kingdom Hearts 2, where it's like, what you actually thought was Xehanort's Heartless. Spoiler alert for those who have not played the game, by the way, but it's, like, almost, like, 15, 16 years old at this point, so you probably should have played it by now. I mean, you got the wrong guy, but still, you had to be stopped.
Honestly, like, that's kind of what Batman does. He just catches the bad guys and then leaves them for the police to find.
Yeah, he should have pulled a Batman. For once, Batman would actually be right here. I try to measure Fritz's reaction, but he only looks thoughtful. I'm sorry, Fritz.
No, don't be.
Well, He smiles at me gently. Oh snap! Okay! Okay! This is getting good here.
Above all else, I believe it's most important for a trial to be fair. You're far more knowledgeable when it comes to things like this.
Well, considering she's next in line for the throne, and he's probably gonna have to make decisions like this for a living, makes total sense.
Besides, it makes sense for a ruler to look at things objectively. Hearing a rationale gives me hope that justice is still feasible within the boundaries of all these rules.
Exactly. Exactly. Letter versus spirit. It's very important. He shakes his head, the soft smile never leaving his face.
What's in the past stays in the past. I think hearing your opinion makes me feel a little better. It's funny. My intention was to tell you more about my mother, but in the end, I learned something about myself too.
And when we learn, when we know better, we do better. There we go. That was the quote.
You really are wonderful, Lucette.
Aww. Fritz pulls me to my feet and kisses my forehead. Then, abruptly, he pulls me into a hug. Fritz?
Thank you, Lucette, for hearing me out.
Oh! I rest my head on his shoulder. You never need to thank me, Fritz. I want you to be open with me. I pull away so I can plant a quick kiss on his lips. Now, shall we continue this conversation during our lesson? But it looks like it turned dark, because, like, wasn't it, like, brighter earlier? Because the lights in the background are on. Fritz smiles at me.
Has it been on this whole time? I wasn't even paying attention.
Yeah, I have to look back at the replay now. But it looks like the lights went on. Well, the lights went on, but we'll see. Anyway, Fritz smiles at me. He places a hand on my back as we walk toward the door.
Yes, let's.
We exit the stifling room and walk out into the breezy corridor. Dang, so much happened here! The rest of the week passes by in a blur of meetings, classes, and practices. When I'm not busy with practicing with Fritz in the forest, he takes me to town. There, the two of us go searching for evidence of discrimination against witches. Ever since I spoke with Chevalier, I've been unable to rest. Fritz has agreed to help me gather information, and, unsurprisingly, he's able to compile more evidence than me. He may no longer be a knight, but he is still incredibly good at work that requires subtlety or stealth. What can't he do, besides not being able to serve himself food? That's still a sticking point with me. By the end of the week, the two of us have compiled a long list to present to the counselors upon our next meeting. Then again, everybody has to have some flaw of some sort, and that's one of them. Hamartia! That's what it's called. His Hamartia, translated to fatal flaw, is not being able to serve himself properly in the formal dinner. Or breakfast in this case. I'm grateful that the week has come to a close until I realize belatedly that the masquerade my family has been preparing for us tonight. Uh-oh. Oh man, how many times have I done that? Too many. Fritz makes me promise that I will attend before departing to discuss some important matter with my father. Is it a proposal I see?
He makes me promise to attend, like I'm going to miss this masquerade ball that
I am the crown
gave
princess
me a mask for.
Why would I miss this? The time for the masquerade comes sooner rather than later. It is not long before darkness cloaks the hallways and guests begin to pile in. I exit my room midway toward the throne room. The mask on my face feels heavy, even though it is perfectly suited to my face. No one has seen me wearing it yet, not even Emmeline. Oh snap! That is pretty!
Oh!
I
like that.
Yeah, and surprisingly it goes really well with the blue. That's really nice. I hope it does not look too ostentatious. I put a hand to one of the dress's inner pockets. Tucked inside is Fritz's knife. It is a strange good luck charm, but it makes me feel more confident as I walk into the throne room.
I tell you, the dress has pockets.
The dress has pockets!
How about that?
Yes! That is like bonus points right there. Okay, I don't think I've heard this track before. The first thing I noticed upon entering the throne room is that everyone is masked. Most of the women are wearing beautifully designed gowns that shimmer with the dark colors at nighttime. The men don black coats and vests and wear bright smiles that offset their dark masks. Some of the ladies smile and laugh behind feather fans. Dang, this music is so... I wish you could hear it. But, like, the music is, like... It's oddly... eerie and kind of suspicious. Like, it's kind of like what a security person would probably be, like, listening to in the background as an occasion's going on. Like, trying to make sure nothing's up. Or what a Secret Service person would be listening to. Because it's pretty dramatic. I take in the sight, wandering at the atmosphere of mystique. I am startled when the announcer beside the door appears and, with a bow, calls my full title and name to the gathered crowd. I search the faces of everyone gathered, but the guests' expressions are hidden behind their fans. And we're thinking, like, eyes wide shut, even though it's not really that kind of occasion. Or the lovebirds.
Oh, wait to blow my cover. Now everyone knows who I am. Do you understand a masquerade? You understand the word?
And do you forget the first rule of the secret society? You do not take your mask off. My heart tightens at the sight. Why am I so nervous? I begin to make my way down the stairs, offering words of greeting to all those who approach me. I cannot help but noticing the nobles are more brazen on this night. Well, concerning the masks, it makes more sense. Ladies titter and grin behind their fans, and more than a few men wink at me. God! It is like they are different people. I still meandering through the crowd and searching for familiar faces when I notice a man in attire similar to Fritz's. Fritz? The man turns, but it is not Fritz, only some masked nobleman. I club disappointment inside of me and turn around to begin my search anew.
Looking for someone, princess?
Now I feel like I have to do something like... The power of this incense compels you. The power of this incense compels you. It's so sus. It's so sus. And then we stumble right back to the man behind me, and I have to take a few steps back to put some distance between us. I look up and freeze when I see his mask. Oh shoot! Is this like the Varg mask? It's Varg-like. It's Varg-like. Both his eyes and his mask are so familiar, I cannot help but be shocked. His face, complete with the cocky grin, gives me a strange sense of deja vu. I cannot speak, only stare at him dumbfounded. Though his hair's not black, though, that should be the one thing that should give you away that's not him, even though it is him. I don't know, man. This is weird. Oh, God! That doesn't help things!
It's been a while.
Good lord! The look on his face and the mask, it is Varg's face. But no, it cannot be. Varg does not exist anymore. Not as his own person. It has only been a few hours. Fritz's eyes twinkle with mirth.
Sarcastic as always, I see.
He takes a step forward.
I'll have you know I plan on going by a different name tonight.
Oh?
Tonight, you might call me Varg.
Oh shoot! Oh shoot! Oh shoot! Ah! my gosh! Oh my god! Oh. Do I end it here? Because I wonder how Lisette's gonna react to this.
Yeah, like that is so many questions. Is he just totally messing with her, or is Varg coming back in like some controlled way?
Yo!
Because the way he set everything up and planned everything, I don't think Varg is actually coming back and taking over.
Yeah, I think it's like like I always thought like Varg was kind of like the shadow aspect of Fritz. That's kind of like up until the curse came into the picture. That's where he kind of became more prominent. Like it was always there, but it just needed the right conditions for it to come out. Oh my god! What?
There's so many questions.
There's so many questions! But you know what? I think this is the perfect spot to end. So, how will Lucette respond to Fritz, aka the person formerly known as Varg? Because, like, the music got really interesting here, and also just the situation is just like, whoa. Like, whoa.
Like, she's either gonna be like panicked all night trying to figure stuff out, or she's just gonna slap him. I don't know.
Yeah, or
those are the two options I see happening.
Or maybe a third option where she strangely kind of like negotiates this and kind of has fun with it, but also is kind of suspicious because of all the things that kind of went down. Who knows? Oh man, this is an interesting one, that's for sure. This route's been like one of the most challenging, yet one of the most fun that I've come across to date. So yeah, part 9 coming up next Saturday. Barony, are we doing that on Monday?
I'm not sure.
Right.
Night Miner said he might not be able to make it on Monday, so we may have to figure something else out.
Alright, so to be continued on Barony. We'll check back in probably next week. Yeah. So, got a special offering on my Fiverr shop in case you want to jump in on that. There's Ostara, which is like the newest offering, which is one of those seasonal things. So it's 3 card reading. It's good until the summer solstice. I also do runes too, so if you want to try that out, feel free to let me know. But if you mention that code in the comments of my Fiverr shop, you'll get that. So it's good until the summer solstice, so whenever you want to get the second reading, just let me know and I will do it. Or I'll supplement on top of the reading that you've already got. So, let me know about that. And here's all my social media. In case you want to check out anything else, my TikTok is one of the most updated pages, if you want to check that out. And I've got a blog as well. So, yeah, got all that going on. But yeah, wow. What an interesting story indeed, and what a beautiful night to end it out on. So, happy super full moon in Libra, happy Passover, happy Palm Sunday, and stay safe out there, my friends. And of course, may your heart be your guiding key. Till next time, everybody, I will see you later. Bye.
Bye.